Wow, what a great crowd for a Wednesday morning in Fairfax County. This is what happens when the next President of the United States drops by. That's what happens. Well, look, good morning, everybody. I'm Lieutenant Governor Bill Bowling, and I have the privilege of chairing Governor Romney's presidential campaign here in Virginia. We really appreciate everybody coming out this morning to greet Governor Romney. We had some great events with the governor last night here in Fairfax, and it is just so kind of him to take time away from his campaign to come here today and help support our candidates and fire up our troops in advance of the November 11th elections when we're working here in Virginia, November 8th elections, when we're working here in Virginia to build on our Republican majority in the House of Delegates and take back the state Senate, right? That's what we're going to do on November 8th. You know, I was thinking the other day, there's a great contrast in America today. You want to see how government doesn't work? You look north of the Potomac River at Washington, D.C. You want to see how government does work? You look south of the Potomac River to the Commonwealth of Virginia. This is where government works. And government is working in Virginia because we have leadership at the top that understand what it takes to balance a budget, to get the economy moving again, to reinvest in the Commonwealth and its people. We have a leader in Virginia like the leader we're soon going to have in the United States of America that understands the greatness of America comes from its people and not its government. And that leader that the people of our state wisely elected back in 2009, who I believe is just doing a wonderful job leading our state at such a challenging time, is with us here today. And I want to introduce him to you, the 71st Governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia, Governor Bob McDonnell.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Fairfax County and Northern Virginia. Boy, is it great to see you all out here. 1/7 of every vote in the state right here in Fairfax County. Thank you for the great job you did for Bill and Ken and me back in 2009, winning Fairfax County for the first time in 12 years. You can do it again here in 13 days, can't you? Well, we got a chance to make history with only the second time in 150 years having a Virginia Republican governor and a Virginia Republican legislature, and we can do some great things on government reform, on school choice, and reforming entitlements, and cutting spending, and doing all the things that all of you put your heart and soul in for many years in the public arena to get done. So I'm glad to be here with you. This is like the Occupy Fairfax County headquarters movement here this morning. Thank you all very much for being here and sending a message that we still believe in the American dream, that we believe this is the greatest country on earth, and if we just had the kind of leadership in the White House that will focus on getting us out of debt and creating jobs and opportunity for our people, we will continue to be a shining city on the hill for the rest of the world, and for that, we need some new leadership. I'm delighted that Governor Romney is here with us this morning because he believes that the first salvo in next year's campaign starts right here in the Commonwealth of Virginia with these elections in 13 days and 7 hours. So we want to take back the Senate and be able to do great things in the Commonwealth of Virginia, to do what the Lieutenant Governor said. By the way, he's doing a great job there. He's actually for 2020, so he can break more tie votes, I think. But we're thinking more like 24. But I'm so glad Governor Romney's here. As busy as he is campaigning all over the country, he thought it was so important that he come here to Northern Virginia today to be able to talk about his message for the future of the country and to help give support to our candidates for the House and the Senate and the school boards and the clerk's offices and the boards of supervisors, so we can create the same kind of momentum that we saw in 2009, that created the momentum for 10 and winning 3 congressional seats. Thank you for doing that last year. But if we win here in Virginia, that it's going to create a little bit of wind at the backs next year. Governor Romney gets it when it comes to free enterprise. a marvelous record of achievement at Bain Capital, creating wealth and jobs and opportunity for people. A great record of achievement in Massachusetts, where you actually have to balance a budget and get things done on time. You can't do what this commander-in-chief does and kind of blame the Tea Party and the Republican House and Wall Street for all the problems. You take responsibility, you get things done, you focus on getting results, and that's the kind of leadership you've seen with Mitt Romney and his very specific plans for getting America back on track. So it's an honor to have him here today. Please welcome the former governor of Massachusetts, Governor Mitt Romney.
Thank you, Governor. Thank you, Governor, Lieutenant Governor. And thanks to so many friends here today. Wow, it's terrific to see you. This is historic. Isn't it wonderful to be in a spot like this, in this place where we stand only a few feet away from the memorials of the men and women that crafted this extraordinary country? What a remarkable thing it is to have free individuals come together and talk about politics, fight for the things they believe in, do their very best to keep the American spirit and principles alive. It's remarkable to be here, and I have friends here who've run for office. These behind me, they've run and won. This is a remarkable thing, and they have other things they could do with their life, but they've decided to serve their state and their nation. I know Barbara Comstock, for instance, very well here in the red tie. You know Barbara? She and I work together. There are other things she could do, but she cares about her state. She cares about her country. And there are people who are running for office here as Republicans who are in this race not for themselves, but for their state, for their commonwealth, for their country, and for their belief that free individuals choosing their course in life will create a greater future for our kids and for their kids than a government trying to tell us what to do. And I love this nation for all it stands for and for the people who are willing to serve her. I appreciate your being here today and helping out. I'm just here to do my very best to encourage the people of Fairfax County to send a message across this Commonwealth and across the nation. And that is that we want our country back. We want to have those principles that made us a great nation and the shining city on the hill in the past be preserved, and once again make America the job-creating engine it's been in the past. I love America. I love the people of America. And I'm proud to stand here today with folks who are doing everything in their power to make sure that we have an America that holds fast to those ideals and those truths that have made us such a powerful nation and a shining city on the hill. Thank you to all of you for being here today. We're going to work hard to get this thing won. We're counting on you, Fairfax County. This is where President Obama, then it was candidate Obama, made his last campaign stop. This was his last visit. And then he went on to win. Well, now we're going to send him a message from that last place he campaigned that we're taking back the White House, we're taking back the State House of, well, the legislature here in Virginia, and making sure that the people of this country understand it's starting right here in Fairfax County. Thanks, you guys. Great to be with you. We're going to take some questions. Now, you guys... You guys who've come to hear a couple of three short speeches are now going to get the chance to hear what's known as a press avail. Governor. And so we have some folks who want to ask some questions, and we're going to let the members of the media ask some questions here. Yes, sir.
Sir, what do you think of Governor Perry's flat tax plan that he announced yesterday, and do you plan to propose a flat tax yourself?
I like my tax plan better, as you might not be surprised to hear, which has a number of features. My view is that the key to a tax policy is to reduce the tax burden on the people who've been hurt most by the Obama economy, and that's the middle class. And that's why in my tax plan I eliminate the capital gains, dividends, and interest tax on middle-income Americans. I think that's where we ought to focus our effort. I also, as you know, bring down the corporate tax rate to 25%. I eliminate the repatriation tax. I like my tax plan better, and I think a tax plan, I indicate in my proposal for the nation that I think if I'm fortunate enough to get to Washington, I'll lay out some additional ways to bring the tax code, make it more flat, simpler, and fairer. I think any proposal has to simplify the tax code, but the measures that I put in my proposal I think are the best. Yes, sir.
You've got quite a contingency here with you today. You come at the invitation of Governor McDonnell. At the same time, on the campaign trail, we've seen a lot of stories about big-name Dems keeping a bit of a distance from President Obama. What do you assess when you look at that situation, and are we looking at a possible endorsement, maybe a team here going on?
Well, there are no endorsements today, although those are always welcome. I can tell you that I don't think it's a surprise that President Obama had to change his calendar as to where he would appear, and that there are some Democrats who don't want to be seen with him because he's failed. Look, it's very clear to the people of America that President Obama, while he's a nice guy, is just over his head. That he doesn't have a plan to get America back to work. And he's talking about a new stimulus. The first one didn't work. Why in the heck would we adopt his second stimulus when we saw the results of his first stimulus? There are 26 million people today out of work, or stop looking for work, or just in part-time jobs and need full-time jobs. And the president's failed. The people of America know it. Members of his party know it. And if they're smart, they'll get as far from him as they can. We'll get a president in the White House who understands how the economy works. And I'm just that person.
Governor.
Governor McDonnell, I think, way back.
I say nice things about Governor McDonnell every time I get a chance. He's a terrific governor doing a great job here in the state of Virginia.
And are those things so nice that you would consider him to be your vice presidential running?
It would be presumptuous for anyone in my position so far from the nomination to start thinking about who might be a vice president. But I'm sure that all the people recognize the great leaders we have in the Republican Party, and certainly this man is one of them, and so is the Lieutenant Governor. They're terrific guys. I appreciate being on the platform with them, and look forward to...
Did you ask the governor for his endorsement?
I've asked every governor for their endorsement.
Governor Romney.
Oh, I'm sorry if I created any confusion in that regard. I fully support Governor Kasich's, I think it's called Question 2 in Ohio. Fully support that. Actually, on my website, I think back as early as April, I laid out that I support Question 2 and Governor Kasich's effort to restrict collective bargaining in Ohio in the ways he's described. So I fully support that. But what I was referring to is I know there are other ballot questions there in Ohio, and I wasn't taking a position on those. One of them, for instance, relates to health care and mandates. I've said that should be up to individual states. I, of course, took my state in one direction. They may want to go in a different direction. I don't want to tell them what I think they ought to do in that regard. That's up to them. So it was with regards to that issue that I didn't want to make a commitment. And I don't even know what their question 1 is. If there is a question 1, I don't know what that one is. So, but with regards to question 2, which is the collective bargaining question, I am 110% behind Governor Kasich and in support of that question. Thank you.
Governor, who do you regard as the greatest threat to your campaign, Herman Cain or Rick Perry? And are you confident both campaigns will flame out?
I think the greatest threat to my success would be President Obama, and I'm planning on beating him soon. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Great to be with you today. Thank you.